And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today, as always. We are live every single day. Now, there's multiple ways to watch and listen. Now, if you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, no worries. Head out, go over to our YouTube channel at Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips there daily, so we'll get you covered there. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, baby. Go to Spotify, look up Takes by Fans, and just listen to us every single day. We post the show as soon as it's over right to the Spotify. So, just wait about 15 minutes after we go dark on live, and then we're good on, we're uploaded everywhere. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. It's Takes by Fans everywhere, folks. You cannot not find us. It's pretty easy to find us wherever you are on the internet. Already. Today is Thursday. That means we guess and react to the Week 14 lines. We've been talking about Week 13 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now we're finally ready to start looking forward to Week 14, what those matchups are, what those lines are, what these games are. Are we going to beat Vegas this week? We are feeling very, very good this week. So we'll look at the lines. First we'll predict the lines, then we'll look at what they actually are on DraftKings and see how far we are off, or are we right on par with Vegas's thinking. But before we get into that, we do have a couple of stories. There's only two, so we'll get through these quickly, and then we'll jump into the lines. So here it is, the first story: Bears pause in-person football activities after positive COVID-19 test. So a Bears player tested positive for COVID-19. We don't know who it is. We don't know, who else is going to test positive, or who else they're going to put on the list because of a close contact, high risk. We don't know that. The best case scenario for the Bears would be that Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles both have to sit out this game. That would be the best case scenario, because the Bears quarterbacks, it doesn't matter who they put in. We just saw Mitch Trubisky put up 30 points and still blow a 10-point lead with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's not going to be able to overcome that against a team, against the Lions, who just fired their head coach. So it's like, whoever, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they start Mitch Trubisky, still they're damned. If they start Nick Foles, they're damned as well. So I don't know what's going to happen with this Bears team. We don't know who this COVID positive test is. Now, if it's Allen Robinson, you can kiss the win goodbye. I mean, that's their only true playmaker, and even when he does good, it's still Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles delivering him the football. So Bears, they're already trashed. They're going to get worse with this COVID-19 test. The game is pretty much still going to be played, folks. I don't think this is going to have, a big implication whether they play the game or not. As long as this is not an outbreak like Tennessee or Baltimore, which so far it's only one person. So, I mean, when we heard about the Titans and Baltimore, it was like six people right off the rip that one day. So, Bears should be good to go to play their game on Sunday. They're probably going to lose it anyway, regardless if they got COVID or not. But we'll have to keep an eye on this to see who the player is if they eventually name the player, and if it spreads to other players for the high-risk close contact. So we'll keep an eye on the story, as the week progresses. Alrighty, and then this is just an update on the Giants. Joe Judge indicates that today's practice is a big one for quarterback Daniel Jones. They're going to be testing him a lot. They're going to be moving him around in the pocket and testing that injured hamstring. He's basically, right now it's up in the air 50-50 whether Daniel Jones plays this week or not. It's really going to depend on this practice and how well he's moving, how well he's feeling. So we'll keep you updated tomorrow. If Colt McCoy plays, we have to see who they're playing first in this week's matchup. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, really the Giants need Daniel Jones. Washington is pushing the Giants, contending with the Giants for that first place in the NFC East. And there's only going to be one playoff team in the NFC East, folks. It's going to be the winner of the division. The second place will not have enough wins to make the wild card. So everybody in the NFC East is really just fighting for that, for the conference championship, because or the division championship, because that's the only way you can get into the playoffs. So we need the Giants definitely need Daniel Jones back. Colt McCoy, I mean, he's not doing anything. It was the defense that beat really Seattle last week. Colt McCoy really didn't move the ball too consistently against the Seattle Seahawks. So Giants definitely need Daniel Jones back if they want to have a chance to close out this season with that division win. So we'll keep an eye on Daniel Jones as well. So we have to keep an eye on the Bears and Daniel Jones, see who's going to be playing for both these teams. Alrighty, so those are just two quick stories we had to get out of the way. Alrighty, so now we can finally start talking about Week 14 in the NFL, and we have a Thursday night game this week. Last week we didn't because we had Wednesday night, but now this week we had Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night football. It's been a great week, so definitely looking forward to this Week 14 game on Thursday, and it's going to be a good one. So without further ado, we're going to go through all these games, predict the lines, and then when we've predicted all of them, as I just dropped my pen, hang on. Oh my goodness. There it goes. All right, I got it. All right. We're going to go through, guess the lines of all these games, and then we'll look at what the official line is, see where we were right, see where we were wrong. Are we better? Are we knowing more than Vegas, or is Vegas trying to play us? We'll have all that information. So without further ado, let's start with this Thursday night game tonight, Patriots and Rams. Alrighty. So both these teams have great defenses. I don't think anybody's really denying that. We just saw the Patriots shut out 45-0 the Chargers. Absolutely wild. If you can shut out Justin Herbert, that's pretty good. Yes, the Chargers are trash, but Justin Herbert's still a decent weapon to not get at least 3 points with. So yes, the Patriots defense is good, but they have to go on the road against the Rams. Now, the Rams defense is good. Now, it's basically going to come down to whose offense do we trust more. Now, we've been talking all season that the Rams have a low offensive points ceiling. They don't put up a lot of points. Last week was kind of an exception because they got like late in the fourth quarter, they got a lot of turnovers, the pick six. I mean, the Cardinals, they were just trying to do whatever they could just to try to make the game a little bit more competitive. They were down 17 at one point in the fourth quarter, so the game got away from them a little bit. That's why the Rams put up a lot of points. But usually, they're kind of in the 21 to 24 point range. They really don't kind of score outside of that range too often. So, but do we trust this Patriots offense more? I don't think so. Cam Newton, I mean, the man just threw for like 69 yards last week. Folks, it was ridiculous that they were able to win that game. So I can't trust Cam Newton. Yes, he's good dual threat, but the Rams just faced a dual threat in Kyler Murray, who has a better arm than Cam Newton did, and they literally just shut them out. And the Cardinals have a lot more offensive weapons than this Patriots team does. So I kind of think this is going to be a blowout for the Rams this week. Yes, the Patriots defense is probably going to be able to hold Jared Goff and that offensive company that he's working with to probably not a lot of points, but the Rams are used to not putting up a lot of points, and they still contend in all these games. So I think the Rams defense really just shuts down the Patriots. They can't do anything offensively. This is a good team. The Patriots haven't really won against a good team this season. So we're going to go with the Rams here, and we're going to call this one Rams minus 4.5. I just don't like this New England offense, folks. I wanted to believe in Cam Newton at the beginning of the season, but he's not showing us anything. He's reverting, the classic Cam Newton, the decent completion percentage, not a lot of passing touchdowns. We see, he's more of a runner, more of a play or a read option kind of style offense that New England is running, and they just don't have the supporting cast to use that kind of RPO offense to be kind of competitive in every game. So we're really not too big on the Patriots. We love their defense, but I think this Rams offense can overcome it, and I think the Rams defense is really going to hold the Patriots to really probably 10 or less points. I cannot see this Patriots team really putting up a lot of points on this Rams defense. So we're going to go Rams minus 4.5. Hopefully it's not that high so we can get some good value on the Rams, but I think the Rams are clearly the better team. They have the better offense in literally every aspect. Now it's really, two great defenses. The Rams have a great defense, and the Patriots still have the OG defense. I mean, Bill Belichick, that's all you needed. He can coach defenses with the best of them. So it's going to be a great game to watch defensively. Offensively, I think the Patriots struggle mightily. So we'll call this one Rams minus 4.5. Alrighty, that is the Thursday night game. We'll also get to our moneymaker when we get to the actual lines. We'll do our moneymaker there for tonight's game. Alrighty, let's move on. These are all now Sunday's games, and we'll start here. Broncos, Panthers. Alrighty, Drew Lock, how is this man looking? Well, they just kind of competed decently well against the Chiefs last week. I mean, 1-score game, but Drew Lock, classic interception on the first drive, interception on the last drive, classic Drew Lock. So he's still turning the ball over, and you still cannot trust this Broncos offense on the road. You still can't even really trust this Broncos defense on the road. And this Panthers team, they're coming off of a bye. I don't know if Christian McCaffrey is going to be good to go this week. I don't think anything's really been solidified. I don't think he's playing this week, but he still may be able to. We'll get a closer look maybe tomorrow and Saturday. But Teddy Bridgewater has been doing a fantastic job as of late. They're coming off of a bye. I've always liked what Matt Rule has been able to do this season, keeping games close, finding ways to win without Christian McCaffrey in the offense. I mean, that's really been the biggest green flag for me this season, folks, with Matt Rule and Teddy Bridgewater. Rookie head coach, first time coaching in the NFL, new quarterback. Yes, he played with Drew Brees and he was successful, but, this is still a new team, new offense, new everything. And they've been doing actually very well. Yes, they only have 4 wins, but the way they're, competing in these games and moving the ball down the field in these long drives, they're picking up third downs. Like, this is not a 4-8 team, folks. This is truly a little bit of a better team. And if they had Christian McCaffrey, this would be a team really to be, fearful of, come playoff time, because they can win the games. They keep drives alive. And Teddy Bridgewater is such a good, efficient quarterback. Doesn't really turn the ball over, moves the ball down the field, decent, pretty good completion percentage usually every single game he plays in. So Panthers coming off of a bye at home against the Broncos, who've been struggling the past couple of weeks. I think I like the Panthers here. I think we get the better quarterback. I think we get the better coach. Is that kind of crazy to say? Matt Rule in his first season? I think he may be the better coach. And this Panthers defense is nothing to shy away from. I mean, they forced 2 straight fumble sixes against the Vikings a couple weeks ago. They're coming off of a bye, extra time to prepare. The Broncos, they're still kind of sputtering offensively until they get that offense cleaned up. We cannot buy into them. Drew Lock is still turning the ball over, and they're still not putting up, the points that they were, the first kind of half of the season. So I think we like the Panthers here, and we could get some good value out of this. We're going to call this one Panthers -2. Very close game. Close teams. I mean, we see they're both 4-8. No big winning pieces, no big pieces offensively or defensively with either of these teams. So we could get some good value here. I think the Panthers at home, it's always a safe choice. Teddy Bridgewater, he's doing a fantastic job this week or this season, folks. I know you probably haven't heard a lot of the Panthers because they're only 4-8. Why would you talk about a 4-8 team? But I'm telling y'all, this is probably the best 4-8 team that there is. Just kind of well coached. You got the quarterback. You got these pieces, DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, they're going at it. So we're going to call this one Panthers -2. Alrighty, then we got Texans and Bears, and this is a little bit of a storyline that's been going around that I've been seeing on Twitter, that Mitch Trubisky was actually drafted ahead of Deshaun Watson. That's never good. I don't like to criticize people on their draft picks or, their drafting order. Josh Allen and Sam Darnold were taking over Lamar Jackson, so I don't fault teams too much for drafting quarterbacks, and then we come back and be like, oh, the quarterback that was taken 32nd overall was better than the quarterback that was taken 7th overall. I don't try to penalize teams too much on that because I don't like draft picks anyway. I would sell my draft picks every single year just to get one player that I know that I definitely want on my team, whether that be like a top 3 pick. The top 3 picks, maybe even top 5 I would extend it to. That's the only way I would keep my draft picks. If I've got 2nd round, 3rd rounds, I'm trading them. If I'm deep in the 1st round, I'm pretty much trading those as well. So I don't count draft picks as kind of, anything too much. So I'm not buying into the storyline that, Deshaun Watson is going to play, even better because he was taken, Mitch Trubisky was taken over him. So I'm not going to buy into that too much. I understand that there is a chip on the quarterback's shoulder. I just don't blame teams like that. But I do know that players do hold grudges kind of getting drafted when they face teams that could have drafted them but didn't. Some players do hold grudges. So I will give them that. I don't buy into it myself personally too much. But let's digress a little bit. Texans, Deshaun Watson fumbles the ball on the goal line. So they actually played a little bit better than I was expecting them to. They had, some 2 great receivers just kind of come in and be that next man up. They lose Kenny Stills, they lose Will Fuller, and they had these 2 other receivers kind of step up and do pretty good. Let's see if we can get a real quick. If we can't find it quick, we'll move off of it. Colts. Here it is. Colts, Texans. These are the receivers that I'm talking about. We got Kike, QT, and Chad Hansen. So, I mean, they both step up, and now they're the leading two receivers for the squad in this game. So, I don't think that, losing those two offensive pieces, Kenny Stills and Will Fuller, is really going to affect the Texans offense too much. It may even help them a little bit. So, we'll see how it works. In this Bears offense, we know we can never trust Mitch Trubisky, and I think he's starting this week. So, whether they have a lead or not, the Bears are going to lose. They've proven that they'll lose it. So we can't trust Mitch Trubisky. We can't trust Mitch Trubisky with a lead. What can we trust him with? Nothing. So I'm probably going to stay away from this game unless we get some real good value here. We're going to call this one Bears -1 just because they're at home. But I think I like this Texans team. You got Deshaun Watson, who I just said he has kind of this chip on his shoulder, and he's kind of been vocal about it this week. I've been seeing it on Twitter. So expect him to play a little bit better. And if these, two receivers that are going to step up, Chad Hansen and Kiki QT, I mean, this Texans team can definitely win on the road. You got J.J. Watt going against Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky's not going to be able to move the ball at all in this game. So I think we may go with the Texans here if we can get some good value. Otherwise, I think I stay away from it because you never know with this Bears team. They could come out and surprise, and this Texans team isn't so great either. They're not too well buttoned up. So unless we get good value, we're going to stay away from it. But if we get like Texans +3, then I think that's pretty good, and we may take that. But we'll call this one Bears -1 for now. Alrighty, Cowboys and Bengals, and Cowboys coming off of a shorter week. They just played on Wednesday, and now they have to go and play on Sunday here against the Bengals. Now, the Bengals are not good, but the Cowboys are not good either, but the Cowboys have so much talent that the Bengals do not. I am going to definitely stay away from this game unless we get good value. I don't see us getting good value either way. I cannot trust Mike McCarthy here. This is probably going to be like Cowboys -4. Is that right? Should I be doing this? Bengals -3 for home field. How much better are the Cowboys really? I mean, on paper, they are a lot better, but when you watch them play, they are one of the worst teams I've ever watched play with this much talent on their roster. I mean, they literally were not even game planning for the running game of Baltimore. What are they going to be game planning for against the Bengals? They can't do anything. So I don't know what the heck the Cowboys are going to be thinking that they do well, because clearly the Cowboys thought the Ravens passed the ball so many times. That's why they did not stop the run, or could not stop the run, because they just game planned for that Ravens passing attack. So don't know what the heck is going on in Dallas. The Bengals, they're not good. They just put up 7 points last week against the Dolphins, and I know that the Dolphins defense is better than the Cowboys defense. So the Cowboys are probably going to give up more than 7, and I don't know if they can score more than 7, folks. We just broke it down, yesterday on the show. The Cowboys, they scored 7 points on one drive that didn't start from the Baltimore's 40 or inward. So they can't move the ball. They can't drive the ball. We're not going to trust this Cowboys team on the road, even against this kind of bad Bengals team. They're not even a bad team. They're just a new team. You got a new head coach. You got the rookie quarterback. You've got, AJ Green coming back from, he's been out for like 2 seasons. So kind of a new team here in Cincinnati. We're going to stay away from this one. We'll officially call this one Cowboys -3. I mean, folks, they've got they've got the better running back, they've got the better quarterback, and they've got the better wide receivers. Amari Cooper over AJ Green, I think so. But you cannot trust this Cowboys team. On paper, the Cowboys are better, but the Cowboys play like not on paper, because they're 3-9, so not good. We're going to stay away from this one unless we get some real good value. Like, we need Bengals +10, but even at that point, I don't know. So we'll probably stay away from that game. We'll call it Cowboys -3, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, Packers and Lions. And yes, the Lions had an exciting win last week. Every single interim head coach, they've won their first game and they've lost their second game. It goes back to the Texans. It goes back to the Falcons. Folks, you cannot trust, you get that kind of everybody buys in because it's the one game. Everybody, when you're a bad team, you're waiting for that one move to be made. Is it going to be the change at quarterback? Is it going to be the firing of a head coach? Is it going to be the release of a player that's kind of toxic to the locker room? And then that next game, everybody buys in. They're like, hey, we're a new team now. That was the problem. The head coach was the problem, the Lions are thinking. They just won the game last week. Expect that kind of to come down a little bit now that this interim head coach has to deal with an entire week of winning and trying to get everybody back and focused to, to that 0-0 mindset. Hey, so far this season, up to this point, we're 0-0. Clean our slate. Let's get ready for this next game. So we're going to have to see how the interim head coach for the Lions are going to handle that. I don't think they're going to handle it too well because we haven't seen any interim head coach handle it very well this season. This Packers team, this is a division matchup. Expect the Lions or expect Aaron Rodgers to play this game with his heart out. They've got 3 losses. The Packers know that they cannot lose any more games if they want to have a chance at that number 1 seed in the NFC. And Aaron Rodgers knows from last season they went 13-3, had to go to Santa Clara for that NFC championship game, and they lose it. They want to be at home for that game. So expect Aaron Rodgers to not even entertain this as a real competitive game. Expect them to get out, to a good lead, and then they'll hold it for the rest of the game. So we're going to go probably Packers -4 here, and I like the Packers big. Now, the one thing that the Lions have going for them is they're usually always good in the first quarter on their first drive or two. They're very good off the scripted plays. And this is, the thing that really hurts the Packers. If the game is competitive early, the Packers flounder a little bit. They get a little, maybe too excited with the pass plays. They try to take too many shots. They'll go for it on 4th down. So if you can test this Packers team early, keeping the score close, it really hurts the Packers. We saw it against the Bucs where, he throws 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Then he throws the pick 6, and he throws another interception, and the Bucs are up 17-14 just like that, and the Packers flounder for the rest of the game. So we've seen that. That's the one knock that we have on this Packers team, and the Lions can do it. They're very good in the first half. They're very good in the first quarter. So we do like the Packers overall. We're going to trust Aaron Rodgers. He looked very good last week. The defense shut down who they have last week, the Eagles. They'll be able to shut down Matt Stafford. Now, DeAndre Swift, Kenny Golladay, are they going to be able to go? We don't have solid word on that yet either. Expect maybe one of them to go. They've missed a couple of games. They should be right back ready to go now this week. But it's the Packers, folks. We just saw Aaron Jones rush for 130 yards while Aaron Rodgers threw for like 250. They're both good. The running game, the passing game are both good in Green Bay. The offense really is good in Green Bay, by itself. So we're going to call this one Packers -4. We'll go from there. Alrighty, Titans and Jags, and the Titans looking to kind of avenge their loss. I mean, we saw them, be good in the second half. It's not like they got totally blown out in that game. They just got out to that slow start that we know the Tennessee Titans get out to sometimes. But they make up for it. They try, Ryan Tannehill was airing the ball down the field. That's always kind of good. You always, you never really worry about Derrick Henry performing very well game in, game out. But with Ryan Tannehill, you know that he isn't going to throw the ball down the field all the game, every single game. So the fact that he was able to kind of do that in the second half of the game and make it competitive and still throw some touchdowns, I think that's actually a real good sign for Ryan Tannehill in this Titans offense. Getting that Ryan Tannehill arm back into, some, game shape and, with those big situations, airing out the ball. So he can still do it. They'll probably do it a lot more this game since he's coming off of a pretty fresh game throwing the ball. With the Jaguars, we just saw Mike Lennon. We're still not impressed with him. They're still airing out the ball, so that's a good sign for the Jaguars. But this Tennessee Titans defense, they just got manhandled. They just got punched in the mouth. Expect them to kind of respond and rebound pretty mightily, I would say, and kind of take it out on the Jaguars this week. So we're gonna call this one Titans. Oh, man, they were just -5.5 at home last week against the Browns. This Jaguars team, probably Titans -6. And I know that's a lot for them losing that game, but, I mean, this is clearly the better team. We cannot buy this Jaguars team. They're only close in game because of turnovers. I mean, the Vikings were kind of blowing them out, and then they started to turn over the ball like they do. So, not going to buy the Jaguars. Cannot buy Mike Lennon anymore. He's getting it done, but he's not, capitalizing on touchdowns. He's throwing interceptions when you can't afford to in overtime. You cannot throw an interception on overtime. That's when you have to go win the game, and he can't do that. So we can't trust the Jaguars and Mike Lennon to win the game. They'll make it a little bit close. So maybe, if they get a lot of points, then we'll have to reconsider it. But this Titans team, expect them to respond very well. They just got punched in the mouth. They were embarrassed by the Browns. I mean, the Browns. You cannot lose to, a kind of worse team. They haven't had a winning season since like 1999, folks. It's been really wild. So expect this Tennessee Titans team to kind of come back good. And we just cannot buy Mike Glennon 100%. Yes, they're airing the ball down the field, but, he's still making the mistakes, and we can't trust it. So we'll trust this Titans team. They'll get back to the running. Ryan Tannehill will open it up, and we'll go the Titans big. Alrighty, Chiefs-Dolphins, and what a game, man. I cannot wait for this one. 1 o'clock tip-off, early window. Who's going to win it? Hopefully it's on primetime television. This team really, this Dolphins defense needs to be highlighted, and this Chiefs offense needs to be highlighted every single week. So we got the Chiefs going into Miami, so that's a green flag for the Dolphins right there. But this Chiefs offense, they're one of the most deadly when everything goes right. Now, how well is the Dolphins going to be prepared for this Chiefs offense? We're not sure. The Dolphins haven't faced anybody kind of near the caliber level that the Chiefs are this season. I'm trying to think back of who the Dolphins have kind of beat this season, and their kind of best win was maybe the Rams at home, but their offense is nowhere near this Chiefs offense. So it's definitely going to be a wild ride for this Dolphins. They're only going to be as good as the defense, kind of performs, because we kind of know that Tua hasn't, not saying he can't, he just hasn't shown yet that he can compete from a first quarter to the fourth quarter, driving the ball down the field on his own without any help from the defense or special teams. Now, last week, Tua was good in the second quarter. Absolutely fantastic. They scored three times on all three of their possessions in the third quarter, so that's a huge green flag going into this game. Now, is Chan Gailey going to hold Tua back? We need to be highly explosive. We have to take our shots down the field against the Chiefs, because if we just start dinking and dunking, their defense is going to get us in 3 and outs, and you cannot have our defense going out 3 and out against this high-speed, high-caliber Chiefs offense, because we're going to get blown out at some point. So, Dolphins, can they keep it close? Can they be competitive in this game? It's going to be a great one to watch, folks. So, it's really going to be Chiefs offense versus Dolphins defense. Has the Chiefs faced a defense as good as this Dolphins defense? They haven't faced the Steelers yet this season. So I would say no. I would say the Dolphins are probably the second best defense. Third best defense, maybe the Rams. The Chiefs haven't faced the Rams this season, I don't think, either. So I don't know. We haven't seen the Chiefs go against kind of a high caliber defense yet. So, until we kind of see that, I don't think we can. Actually, let's see what this Chiefs schedule is. Let's look at this up. Let's see who the best defense the Chiefs have faced this season. Is it the Broncos? Was it the Broncos defense? Possibly. Here we go. Let's see their schedule real quick. This will give us a good kind of read on how this Chiefs team performs against a good defense. So let's see their teams. We'll try to see their best defense. So week 1, they face Houston. They don't got a good defense. Chargers, they don't have the great defense. Baltimore, they have a good defense. And that Ravens defense gave up 34 points. So that's not too good there. Oh, they faced the Patriots. This is a good defense, and they only put up 26 points. So, okay, now we're starting to get there. Good defenses are holding them under 30 points so far. Patriots defense holds them to 26. Bills defense is pretty good, and they put up 26. Okay, now we're getting where. Denver Broncos, their defense is pretty good, but they give up 43. This was in Denver, too. That's not a good sign there. Jets don't have a good defense. Panthers don't have a good defense. Raiders don't have a good defense. Bucks don't have that good of a defense. And they still, they have a good run defense. And, they put up 27 points. So this is a little promising. And the second time against the Broncos last week, they put up 22 points because this Broncos defense is pretty solid at some points in the season. So against good defenses, the Chiefs put up about 27 to 30 points, probably 30 points under, we'll say. So that is a little promising for the Dolphins here. Their defense is good. Hold them to under 30 points. And Tua has the ability to go out and put up 20 to 27. We'll see how much he puts up here and how much the defense gives up. That's really what it's going to come down to. So we're going to call this one Dolphins +3. We got to go -3. We don't know the pluses here. We'll do Chiefs -3. They've got the offense, folks. The offense is one of the best offenses I've ever seen in pro football in my entire life. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for this Dolphins defense, and we'll see what we get. We'll see if we get some good value here. If we get like Dolphins +7, I think I really like that, but we'll see what Vegas says. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Cardinals and Giants, and I think Daniel Jones is going to go, so we're going to kind of go forward with his prediction, knowing that Daniel Jones is going to play on Sunday. Cardinals, they just kind of got beat pretty badly against the Rams. They were at home, division game, and they got kind of smacked. I mean, they couldn't do anything. If Kyler Murray does not throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins 11-plus times, they're going to lose the game, folks. That's how it is. They do not know how to create offense for other players and other pieces on their team. So, and I like their running attack. They've got a good running attack. They just don't put up points with the running attack. They only put up points if Kyler Murray goes to DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone. That's only how they score, so that's not that good. We saw the Jets defense last week absolutely shut out that Seattle's offense. Absolutely wild. They're at home this week. That's great for them. Daniel Jones is moving the ball, not really turning the ball over these last couple of weeks, so that's a huge green flag for them. And we really can't buy this Cardinals as one of these kind of premier teams. I mean, we had the Cardinals kind of rocking in the top 10 of our power rankings probably for about, the first 8 weeks, and then they're now they're just a 6-6 team. They're a 500 team. There's nothing special about this team anymore, and they've kind of lost all their magic to them. So I don't think we can't buy Arizona anymore. The Giants are still competing for this NFC East, and we could get some good value here. We're gonna call this one Cardinals -2. We're not going to take the game in Seattle last week as, the end-all be-all for the Giants this week. We still like the Giants, but, last week it was maybe a little bit of a fluke game. I mean, Seattle only putting up 12 points. I mean, folks, that rarely ever happens, and I don't think it was kind of the Giants' defense that really held them. I think it was just kind of a bad game for the Seahawks. That's really it. I can't really place it too much on the Giants just being that good and that locked down on defense. I can't see that. So, Cardinals coming off of a bad loss. Giants coming off of a very good win. Who's going to have the momentum coming into this game? Probably the Giants. The Cardinals may be a little upset, but until they start winning some games, we cannot buy this Cardinals team anymore. So we'll call this one Cardinals -2, and we could get some points with the Giants, and at that point, I think I like it. At home, Daniel Jones back. Oh, boy. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Vikings and Bucks are the other team this week coming off of a bye. It's Panthers and Bucks. Those are the only two teams that were on a bye last week. No more byes for the rest of the season unless COVID happens and you get a free bye. But no byes for the rest of the season. Bucks are the last team basically coming off of the bye. So Vikings, folks, yes, their offense is good, but they always make a mistake. We saw it 2 weeks ago against the Panthers where they fumbled twice for 6 points on back-to-back drives. And then we saw the Vikings last week. They fumbled it on the 1-yard line to really put away the game. Then Mike Glennon goes down and ties it up. And then the Vikings kind of struggle on their first offensive possession in overtime. They go 3 and out. Luckily, Mike Glennon throws an interception. But, the Vikings were kind of basically losing these last 2 weeks because of all their mistakes in the second half. This Bucs defense is good at stopping the run. And the Vikings, what do they do the most? They run the ball with Dalvin Cook to set up Kirk Cousins with the pass. So I really, really, really like the Bucs here this week. Really love the Bucs here. Cannot trust this Vikings team. I know they've won, 5-6 straight since the bye. So I get all that. This is kind of a new and improved Vikings offense, but the Bucs can stop the run. That's what they do the best. Their passing defense is not good, but if they can stop the run, they can stop Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins is only good this season when they set up the run for the pass. So we're gonna trust Tom Brady off of a bye. Expect him to play probably a clean game. They're at home, 1 o'clock kind of kickoff. No pressure here. This probably isn't going to be kind of a primetime TV game. Probably just an area local game. So with all that being said, we like the Bucs here, and we're going to call this one Bucs -6.5. They're off of a bye. Tom Brady, I get that this Vikings offense is good, but they're good because of the run. If they have to rely on Kirk Cousins to throw the ball to start the game, they're going to lose. That's how it is. He's not playing good this season. Whether it be, he doesn't have Stephon Diggs anymore. Was Stephon Diggs making Kirk Cousins last season? Possibly, but he hasn't shown us anything too great here, not stringing wins consistently along. In this Bucs, their last time out on the field, they lost the game. They lost, so they had to go into the bye on a loss, not good. They're going to be hungry. They're going to come out firing. I love the Bucs big here. Hopefully we can get some good value and Vegas doesn't kind of prop them up to like Bucs -10 or 13.5. I think we'll like it at Bucs -6.5 and still take it. Alrighty, here we go. Continuing on, Colts Raiders. Raiders coming off of a highly emotional win, kind of last second Hail Mary against the Jets. And this Colts team defense steps up and, kind of puts the pressure on Deshaun Watson, and he fumbles. So this Colts team, I mean, they barely won against the Texans. They really should have lost, and that's how we've seen this Colts team. In the second half, they always flounder. They cannot compete in the second half. The last time they were able to kind of be good in the second half was against the Titans in their first meeting this season, when the special teams of the Titans just kind of blew the game and basically just handed the win to the Colts in the second half. So the Colts, they cannot perform in the second half. That speaks to coaching, and that speaks to quarterback play. When they get in their locker room at halftime, they're not making the right adjustments, and Phillip Rivers is not motivating his team as the captain, quarterback position on offense to continue to have this team put up points in the second half. So I can't trust this Colts team. Raiders at home, they're kind of been iffy up and down all season, but they're coming off of a highly emotional win. They're at home this season, still trying to make the playoffs. Still, the Colts are trying to still make the playoffs too, but this Raiders team is kind of on the outside looking in. I think they may currently be out of the playoffs, because I think it's Colts, Browns, Dolphins, Colts, Ravens, or no, I think Ravens have, the Raiders are either the number 6 seed or they're on the outside looking in on that top spot. So regardless, the Raiders are going to be looking to win out to secure their playoff position. John Gruden knows he kind of needs to make the playoffs this season. He needs to make the splash even with an extra team added, or especially with the extra team added to the playoffs this season. John Gruden knows he needs to kind of turn around this franchise quick. So far, he's only taken 1 year. They're at 7-5. Does he take 2 years? And now we're starting to look iffy at them. Raiders, I think I like them here. We're going to call this one Raiders minus 1.5. Can we forget about how good this Colts defense is? When was the last time the Colts had a primetime game? Because that was the last time that, I saw that graphic of, Colts having good defense, and ever since then they haven't. So we're not buying into that anymore. We're going to call this one Raiders minus 1.5. Raiders at home, Colts on the road. I do not trust Phillip Rivers on the road at all, and we're going to call Raiders here. So we'll call it Raiders minus 1.5. The Raiders were kind of moving the ball against the Jets. They would just, have, turnovers. They would just turn the ball over and kind of ruin their good field position. So they were still moving the ball. We're not going to penalize the Raiders for winning close and kind of coming down to the wire against the Jets. So I think I like the Raiders here minus 1.5. I think this is going to be a good play, folks. Raiders this week. Alrighty, Jets and Seahawks, and I'll tell you right now, Jets lose. Jets will lose this game. Seahawks coming off of a bad loss. Jets coming off of a bad loss as well, but they're bad anyway, so, you expect Adam Gase to kind of turn it around. Do you know what Adam Gase probably said to the locker room on Monday, and probably, after the loss, he's probably like this? Yeah, man, burned on defense, bad defensive call. I did everything right. Let's get back at it next week, I guess. All right, I'm out. Not even end in, hand in, let's come back as a team. He's probably like, I'm out. It's y'all fault. That's probably what he was like right after the game. So I cannot trust Adam Gase. I cannot trust anybody on this Jets offense or defense. Even though the defensive coordinator got fired, does that even make him worse? That may even make him a little bit better, honestly. So maybe the Jets have gotten better because they fired the defensive coordinator. They have an interim head coach or interim defensive coordinator. That's probably better off, honestly. But we still don't like the Jets here. Jets traveling. Seahawks expect Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson to really just fire it up. I'm talking 40-plus points this week for Seattle. So we're going to call this one Seattle minus 7.5. They're so much better, folks. They're so much better. Yes, last week, the Seahawks, they didn't show out offensively. Okay, they still kind of showed out defensively, holding the Giants to only 17 points. You think the Jets are going to score more than 17 points this week? I don't think so. We're going to go Seattle big here. We'll call it minus 7.5. Alrighty, Falcons and Chargers getting absolutely obliterated last week, and the Falcons, very close game against, Taysom Hill for a second time, but they still couldn't stop them. Not good, especially when you face them twice this season. Chargers, can't trust them. Falcons, can't trust them either. Offensively, when they have everybody healthy, they're worse than when they only rock with Calvin Ridley. It's weird. I still can't trust Matt Ryan in the red zone. He's still not converting for touchdowns, still settling for field goals or turning the ball over. So I'm not going to trust the Falcons on the road this week, and I'm not trusting the Chargers at home either. So I'm staying away from this game. Don't really know how this one's going to turn out. Who's the better head coach? Is it Anthony Lynn or is it the interim head coach for the Atlanta? I would say probably the interim head coach. Anthony Lynn needs to be fired. Who's the better quarterback, Matt Ryan or Justin Herbert? I think I give it to, I don't know, maybe Matt Ryan has the slight edge since he's been in the league a lot more. Who's got the better running back, Todd Gurley or Austin Eckler? Maybe Austin Eckler's having the better season. Who's got the better weapons? I don't know. I would say the Falcons, but every time Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and Todd Gurley all play together, they lose those games and they don't put up a lot of points. So I don't know. Cannot trust the Falcons. Cannot trust the Chargers. I stay away heavy from this game unless we get some good value. Some good value would be like Falcons +7, and I don't see that happening. So we're going to call this one Chargers -1.5. -1.5. They're at home, but I think the Falcons overall are kind of a little bit better. But we'll call this one Chargers -1.5 and see where we go. We're not going to get any good value here in this game, so I'm staying heavy away from it. All right, here we go. A couple more games left. We got 4 left, and then we get into the real lines. Here we go. Saints and Eagles, and oh boy, this is going to be a good game actually. Jalen Hurts gets his first official start. Taysom Hill still going strong, baby, 3-0. So love the Saints here. Defensively, offensively, expect this team to still win. Taysom Hill, he's playing fantastic, folks. He is playing absolutely fantastic. He's not turning the ball over. They cannot stop the run game, and they cannot stop his passing game. Now, the Eagles, they do have a good defense. Of the last 3 weeks, they're probably the best defense that the Saints have faced. Maybe the Broncos. I mean, they had the Falcons defense twice, not that impressive. And then they had the Denver defense once, and that was pretty good. But I still think they put up 30 points, but that was because Broncos had no quarterback, so they were, picking them off a ton of times. So this Eagles is probably the second best defense they faced in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Eagles in must-win situation here. They know they're still in the hunt for the division, but it's Jalen Hurts in his first game, and he looked pretty good. I think he looked better than Carson Wentz, but at the end of the day, this is an experienced Saints team. They're looking to close out as well. I mean, they've got the Packers right on their back for that number 1 seed. They know that they need to kind of win out here. In this Eagles team, I mean, they don't do anything special offensively. They just need to stop a rookie quarterback this week, and I think they do it. We like the Saints here. Taysom Hill is fine, folks. Without Drew Brees, I think the Saints are a little bit better. I haven't seen Drew Brees spread the ball around like Taysom Hill has been doing, folks. It's really been kind of crazy that this man is kind of the third string quarterback going into the season. Everybody thought Jameis Winston was a second string. They went to Jameis Winston when Drew Brees got injured initially in the game that he got injured in. So, I mean, we're looking at a third string quarterback. I know he's been on the roster for a long time. I get it, folks. But still, he's playing absolutely fantastic here. Love everything about the Saints team, offensively and defensively. Yes, Jalen Hurts may win this game, but it's not very likely for a rookie quarterback to come in 13 weeks into a season against a primed and hot Saints team and goes and beats them, folks. So, we're going to call this one Saints -6.5. I think Jalen Hurts is an upgrade from Carson Wentz, but, I mean, this is his first game. I don't think he's really going to be able to command it, and I think the Saints defense really kind of pressures him early and gets him off his rhythm. We'll go Saints -6.5. Already Washington and 49ers, and wow, Washington coming off of a huge emotional win on, what was it, Tuesday? Was that the Tuesday game? No, Monday at 5. Monday day game, Monday afternoon, midday, early night game, whatever you want to call it. Washington coming off of a hugely emotional win. 49ers coming off of a hugely emotional loss. Washington beats the Steelers. 49ers lose to the Bills. So 49ers at home here. Washington, I mean, they're so well coached, folks. That's why they have 5 wins. The 49ers, Nick Mullins, he's looking okay. Still turning the ball over at the worst times. Still not really completing games and scoring touchdowns, settling for field goals. So, Nick Mullins is an elite quarterback, anything like that. Now, is he better than Alex Smith? Possibly. Alex Smith still trying to get back into, prime shape. This Washington defense is very good. Will probably push around Nick Mullins. I mean, this Washington defense, folks, is one. I mean, excuse the record. Don't look at them at 5-7. Maybe their offense is 5-7, but this defense is pretty solid. They held the Steelers to less than 20 points, looking good. So I think that Washington can do the same thing here against the 49ers. Now, I don't think Washington is going to be able to throw as much as the Bills did against this 49ers defense. We'll see if Antonio Gibson's good to go for Washington. He's probably not. So with all that being said, we've got two bad teams here, or two kind of teams that are kind of facing a little bit of misfortune a little bit. 49ers with all the injuries in Washington. I don't really know what their misfortune would be. So maybe not misfortune for Washington. They benched their starting quarterback. It wasn't like he got injured. They benched their second string quarterback. It's not like he got injured. So I think I like the I don't know. I don't know what I like about this game. I cannot see any angle here to really kind of, see who's got the better angle here or there. But I think Washington's got the better defense. Watching that 49ers defense get lit up by Buffalo was kind of a little upsetting to watch a little bit. So don't really know who's going to win this game. I probably stay away from it. Two of the lower tier teams, you probably stay away from it. Probably getting no good value here. Maybe it's 49ers minus 2, and maybe you take Washington plus 2, but still at the end of the day, I mean, Washington, they played on a wonky day against the Steelers, who have already been wonky the past couple of weeks. So do we buy the Washington team, so much because they finally beat the Steelers? Not really. So probably stay away from this game, but we'll call this one 49ers minus 2. Alrighty, and then we get Sunday Night Football, and folks, this is going to be a great game. Steelers-Buffalo. Steelers looking to bounce back. I think they do. Buffalo trying to kind of ride that momentum. Hey, we just threw all over the 49ers, folks. We threw all over them. We put up the points. We looked good on defense. What more do you want from us? So expect Josh Allen to maybe his head to get a little bit bigger than what it actually is. We know he does, turn the ball over in these kind of high pressure situations. This is primetime TV. This is against the best defense in the league, in my opinion, against the Steelers team that came off a huge emotional loss against the Washington, ruined their undefeated season. Mike Tomlin is saying, hey, if you don't catch this ball, you're off the team. I wouldn't be surprised if every day to start practice, Mike Tomlin is throwing 10 balls at each player, and if they drop one, they're cut immediately. That would not surprise me, folks. So I think I like the Steelers here. We could get Steelers plus points, folks. I mean, truthfully, this is probably Bills minus 3 just for home. And we get Steelers plus 3. I would absolutely love that in a heartbeat. Yes, Big Ben struggled last game. Okay, we've seen teams struggle offensively for games here and there. Why do we have to penalize the Steelers for finally having a bad game 13 weeks into the season, folks? It's a little absurd, and it's a little disrespectful to Big Ben and what the Steelers team has accomplished this season. So we're going to call this one Bills minus 3 just because they're at home, and we'll take the Steelers plus 3 if that's the case. And then that brings us to Monday Night Football. We're not going to talk too much about this. We'll talk about it on Monday when we get here, but just kind of early, just for the line. Browns-Ravens. Don't think Baker Mayfield's going to kind of duplicate that performance that he had last week. I still think the Browns will still be very good in this game, but this Ravens team, they're healthy. They're good to go. I don't know if the Browns can stop them. This is primetime TV again. We just saw what they did on primetime TV, folks. Absolutely obliterate the Cowboys. Now, the Browns have a better offense than the Cowboys, and they have a better defense than the Cowboys, and they have the better coach, and they have literally better everything than the Cowboys do. So I get all of that, but still, this Ravens team, they're explosive. They got a good defense, and I think Baker Mayfield, just like Josh Allen, I think they take a small step back this week, just kind of, maybe in the fourth quarter they've been playing good all game, but then they make that one turnover. We saw Baker Mayfield do it, and Josh Allen, he didn't do it, but we know he has the ability to do it and can still do it. So we expect Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield. They're facing great defenses this week. I think they both take a small step back, and we'll have to reevaluate our top 10s. But we'll call this one. Ooh, this is tough. What do we call this one? Probably Browns minus 2.5, minus 3 because they're home, but I think this Ravens overall team has a slight edge with Lamar Jackson healthy at quarterback. So we'll call this one Browns minus 2.5, and once again, Ravens plus points. I think I love it, folks. I think I love it. Alrighty, now that we've went through and guessed all the games, let's get these lines updated up to the minute. We use DraftKings as our official lines provider. We think they're the most fair, and we love their site. All right. Here we go. This is the Thursday night game. We'll give you our moneymaker. We'll talk through it. So here we go. Patriots, Rams. We predicted this game at Rams -4.5, and it's Rams -5. We are right on the money, folks, and I think that's fine because Patriots, they cannot score the ball. I will not expect them to put up more than 10 points this game. Now, this Patriots defense, they can definitely hold the Rams. They can definitely hold the Rams offensively, but Cam Newton, probably a couple of turnovers. I think it would be safe to take the Patriots +5, but I really just am not going to sit around and wait for Cam Newton to put up points because I don't think they're going to come. So probably the safest option is to take the Patriots +5. Games are close, folks. They're usually one possession, but I cannot trust Cam Newton here, folks. I get it's prime time, and I get it's all that, and I get it's a Bill Belichick coach team, but this is the Rams at home. They've got the better offense I can trust and actually watch and actually kind of expect them to put up points where this Patriots offense, folks, they put up 45 points with Cam Newton putting up 65 yards through the air, and they had a running back that put up like 60 yards on the ground too, folks. It's not good. It's not good. So we're going to swallow the points here. Rams -5. That's going to be our official moneymaker. Make some money this week. Rams -5. You basically double your money, 500. You win 965, so you profit $465. That's pretty good. Yeah, I cannot stomach just kind of waiting around for Cam Newton in this Patriots offense to score, folks. I don't see it happening unless the defense sets them up with the short field. And then I still think at that point they settle for field goals. So we'll go Rams -5 here, folks. That's going to be our moneymaker for today. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go, Chiefs and Dolphins. We predicted this game at, where are we at? I'll find it, folks. Don't worry, because it's not the same order that the NFL uses, so they're all over the place. But we'll find it. Here we go. Chiefs, Dolphins. We predicted this one at Chiefs -3, and it's good. Did we say Chiefs -3? Okay, it's Chiefs -7, so we're definitely off about that, and I think I love the Dolphins +7 here. Yes, Tua is struggling moving the ball, but he had a great third quarter last week, and I think this Dolphins defense can keep up with this Chiefs offense. Everybody, rules out, these defensive teams. The Steelers are, I think people are rooting out or writing off the Dolphins too. Defensive matters, folks. We just went through the Chiefs. When they faced a good defense, they did not score more than 30 points, and I think that's great for the Dolphins here. So the Dolphins, if they score 23 points, you get the 7. I think that's automatic win, and I think they can definitely do that. I expect Tua here kind of to sling it around a little bit. Let's open him up a little bit. This is the team to do it against. The high flying of the Chiefs. Match it with the Dolphins, folks. Let's see what we get here. So I think early on, I like the Dolphins +7 at home. Good defense. Chiefs against good defenses, folks. We just showed y'all. Against the Patriots, the Broncos the second time, and the Ravens. They didn't put up 30 points. So I think I like the Dolphins +7. We have our official picks tomorrow on the show. This is just kind of reacting and guessing the line. So I think early indications, I think I like the Dolphins +7. Alrighty, Jags and Titans, and we predicted this game at Titans -6, and it's Titans -7. So once again, right on the money there. Titans coming off of a huge loss last week, but they played good in the second half. Now they did the same thing against the Steelers when they faced. So they have a history of doing that. Cannot trust the Jaguars here. Now it's 7. Now it's getting a little bit interesting. We liked the Jags +10 last week. They lose by 3. Do we like them +7 here? I don't know. I think the Titans defense, they just got beat up, and these are grown men we're talking about. When grown men get punched in the face and get humiliated on TV or just in a game, just regardless, they usually step up the next week. So I think I like the Titans here. Going to be a close one. Probably stay away from it. The spread is a little too much for me, but I still like the Titans here. Alrighty, Vikings and Bucks, and we predicted this game at Bucks minus 6.5, and it's Bucks minus 6.5. Bingo, bango, right on the money, folks. We called it. We know what we're talking about here. Love it. Yeah, we'll swallow the 6.5. Perfect. Right under that 7 hook. That's where you want to be. Vikings, I mean, they make mistakes all the time on offense, folks. You cannot trust it. They are not totally buttoned up, and until they get buttoned up, we cannot buy them. So I think we swallow the points. Tom Brady off a bye with all these weapons. He's had all these kind of outbursts with Bruce Arians, all these quotes, Bruce Arians saying Tom Brady's going to use it to fuel this fire off of a bye, a superior or an inferior Vikings team. I think the Bucks here at home off of a bye, Tom Brady, they get back on track. They're looking to kind of get momentum into the playoffs, so this isn't kind of they get into the first round and they're done. Now, also another note, Tom Brady, they kind of lose in kind of these primetime slots, the 4 o'clocks, the primetime games on Sunday and Monday night. Why does the Bucks struggle? Why do the Bucks struggle? Because Tom Brady knows that Bill Belichick's watching him. Now, Bill Belichick, I believe, is playing at the same time. Is that correct? No, they play tonight. So, Bill Belichick may be watching this game. Tom Brady may know that, so maybe he doesn't perform well. Maybe that's the case. But that is kind of my philosophy here. Whenever Tom Brady is on primetime TV, that's why he loses, because Bill Belichick is watching him, and he knows it. Tom Brady knows it. So, maybe Bill Belichick will tune in on this game. I don't think it's nationally televised, so I don't think Tom Brady's probably thinking, oh, Bill Belichick has like Game Pass or NFL Red Zone or anything like that. So, we're going to go with the Bucks here, minus 6.5. Yeah, Bucks minus 6.5. We'll swallow the points. I'll tell you right now, this is going to be in our moneymaker tomorrow, folks. I'll tell you. Bucks minus 6.5. Get it early before it goes up to 7. This is why you got to watch it live every day, folks. All right, because if this goes up to Bucks minus 7, we're not taking it anymore. I'll tell you right now. We'll buy it down to 6.5. We're not getting hit on the 7 hook. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Cardinals and Giants, and we predicted this game at Cardinals minus 2, and it is Cardinals minus 1.5. So once again, right on track. We're doing real good this week, folks. I love it. All right, Giants at home, and we get plus 1.5. I think I take it. Kyler Murray, they've been on this kind of skid offensively, and I'm not ready to buy it yet. Now, I do like this Cardinals defense, and we saw what the Giants defense did last week, holding, the Seahawks are really only 10 points because they gave up 2 points on the safety. So Daniel Jones, he's not going to take a safety. They're at home looking to kind of put away this division. Now Arizona, they are coming off of a bad loss, and they were at home for that game. That was a division game. They've got the Rams next week. So maybe they overlooked this Giants game, getting ready again to rematch the Rams. Giants at home plus the point. I'll take it. Daniel Jones should be good to go. Wayne Gallman's good to go. Joe Judge has been doing a fantastic job. I didn't think he would work out because this is a special teams coordinator that got a head coaching job. And it's kind of funny because we've seen the Giants take the safety last week. And then 2 weeks ago, the punt team, they gave up a punt return for a touchdown. So that's the special teams head coach. I mean, if you have a special teams head coach, your special teams really should be buttoned up every single game. That's just my opinion. But we digress. Giants plus 1.5. I think we take it. Giants at home. We'll take it. Alrighty, Bears and Texans. We predicted this game at Bears minus 1, and it's Bears plus 1.5. Okay, that's fine. You get the Texans minus 1.5. You get the Bears plus 1.5 at home. I think I like the Texans here. They did good last week. I was not expecting them to play as good as they did. Very close game, right down to the wire. It's just Deshaun Watson fumbled on like the 1 yard line. That rarely ever happens, folks. So, if he doesn't do that, they most likely win the game, and they win by 1. So, Texans probably should have won last week. This Bears team probably should have won last week, but they didn't because they're trash as well. Mitch Trubisky's so bad. Matt Nagy's like, what the hell can I do now? We just put up 30 points. We had a 10-point lead with 4 minutes left in the game, and Mitch Trubisky still blows it. So he's probably thinking to himself, what the hell can I do? Bears have a COVID positive test this week. Who's that? If it's anybody on the defensive end of the ball, I love the Texans. I'll take them minus 1. I'll take them minus 3. I probably don't take them more than that, but you get what I'm saying. So I think I like the Texans early here. Bears +1, that's nothing. I wouldn't trust Mitch Trubisky with 10 points. I've done it before. I trust Mitch Trubisky with 9.5, and it blows up in your face because he's facing Aaron Rodgers. You think the defense can hold him on primetime TV, and they can't. Cannot trust his Bears defense any longer. This is exactly what happened to the Bears last season. They were good. They were looking good. And then the offense still sputtered every single week. And that makes your defense frustrated. They're like, man, what more do we have to do for y'all? What more do we have to do for you guys on the defensive end of the ball? We've got Khalil Mack. What more do you want? What more do you want? So that's what the Bears defense is thinking to themselves. They give up at the end of the season because they know we can't make the playoffs. We're not going to risk our bodies and risk all of this because it's going to come as a loss. So it doesn't matter what we do anyway because our offense cannot put up points. So this is the time of the season where the Bears just absolutely give in. The defense doesn't work. The offense never worked. Texans. I just talked myself into it. We'll take the Texans -1.5, folks. We'll call it right now. Cannot trust what the Bears did, and the Texans had a great game last week, folks. With two of their top 4 wide receivers being out from last week to this week, they did pretty good at having next man up mentality. So we'll take the Texans here on the road. Alrighty, Cowboys and Bengals. We predicted this game at Cowboys -3, and it's Cowboys -3.5. Once again, right on the money. We love to see it. Now, do we trust the Cowboys -3.5? No, I would not trust them with 10 points. Are you nuts? But this Bengals team, they're not good either. These are two trash teams. We stay away from it. Now, the Cowboys are trash because of their head coach, and that's trash. And the Bengals are trash because they're a new team kind of put together this season. You wouldn't expect them to have success anyway. You would expect the Cowboys to have success with a Super Bowl winning head coach who coached Aaron Rodgers and has been always kind of 8-8 or better his entire career. In this loaded roster of the Cowboys on offense, you have Dak Prescott, you have Amari Cooper, you have Zeke, who we thought was a good running back but has proven that this season that he's not. You are the main premier back. You got paid. You are the new number 1 weapon on offense with Dak being out, and he's still not putting up anywhere near like Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry numbers. Why the heck is that? Why the heck is that not, huh? I don't know. We don't buy the Cowboys. We'll never buy the Bengals until next season with Joe Burrow's fully healthy and, their head coach has a second year under his belt and Joe Mixon finally returns to the lineup. So we stay away heavy from this game. Cannot trust the Bengals with 3.5 points here. Cowboys probably win this game because they should win this game. It's about time they win a game that they should be winning. So we're just going to stay away from it. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Broncos and Panthers. We predicted this game at Panthers -2, and it's Panthers -3.5. So a little off there, and I understand it. This Panthers team is good. I like them, even without Christian McCaffrey. Now, the Broncos are getting 3.5 points, and I think I like that a little bit. Drew Lock, he's not really dependable, but he's able to kind of keep games close sometimes. This Broncos defense really kind of just going to rest on their shoulders. They did good last week against the Chiefs on the road, so that was a huge promising sign. This Panthers team, they're always in the game, and they always go on these long drives in the game. I would look it up, folks. I would say by just watching these Panthers play that they probably have the best third down conversion rate in the NFL this season. I think that's a fact. I would bet money on that, not knowing the actual result of that, just by going on the Panthers. But Panthers -3, I don't think I like it, whereas the Broncos +3, I think I like it. I think this game's going to be close, folks. I mean, the Panthers aren't this great team that blows everybody out. They just kind of keep themselves in the game. They do go and drive down the ball, and they usually end up with touchdowns and not have to settle for field goals, so that's good. We'll have to see if Christian McCaffrey's playing. We'll have to see his status. That will definitely play huge into it. If Christian McCaffrey's playing, then yes, I love Panthers -3.5. If he's not, then I think I don't. But even still, we'll see. I think DJ Moore may also be out too. So that is something that we have to keep an eye on. So, Panthers, Broncos, I would kind of wait until maybe Saturday or Sunday to pick this game after all the information on the inactives and actives for the Panthers come out. But We'll kind of hold off on this one. I don't think I'm going to take this one. Take this game. These are just two of these. If we have bad teams going against each other, anything can happen. So I would either take the points or stay away from it. We're going to stay away from it here. All right, let's move on. Jets Seahawks. We predicted this game at Seahawks. What do we got? The Seahawks minus 7.5, and it's Seahawks minus. Wow, we were totally off, and I 100% understand it, folks. I 100% understand this. I definitely lowballed it there at 7.5, and I understand that now. So Jets are absolutely atrocious. We would never take them plus 13.5. We would never take them plus 40.5. We would never take them plus 50.5. 60.5, maybe, but probably still not. Seahawks got punched in the mouth last week. Offense couldn't do anything. They put up 12 points, really only 10, 2 points to the defense. So expect the Seahawks. You would expect the Seahawks to step up this game, right? So we're not going to take this one. We're not swallowing 13.5 points, even though it's against the Jets and it's Russell Wilson. We're still not going to take that. That's nonsense. It's nonsense to bet against that with that big spread. So we stay away from the game. The Jets are still trash anyway. They lose. They're going to lose the game. And if they win the game, I will never talk to Seattle again. I will never talk Seattle on the show ever again if the Jets upset them here this week. We just stay away from that game. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Colts Raiders. We predicted this game. What do we have this game at? We had this game at Raiders minus 1.5, and it's Raiders plus 3. Raiders plus 3. Here it is, folks. The best bet of the week. Raiders plus 3. We're taking this all day, folks. I do not trust Phillip Rivers on the road. I do not trust Phillip Rivers ever. I would not trust Phillip Rivers. If you give me any game, I'm not trusting him. Raiders here, yes, they are a little iffy. I will give everybody that. They really shouldn't have won against the Jets last week. Probably should have lost, but they were still moving the ball down the field. There was just a couple of turnovers that, spoiled their field position, and at the end of the day, they still win the game. So give them credit there. Raiders on the road or at home, huge good for them. They're trying to compete for the playoffs. They know they kind of have to win out or win most of. What do they got? What are we at? Week 4. They got 4 games left, so they know they have to win at least 3 of their 4. Basically all 4 of the games. So John Gruden at home, Derek Carr, they know the pressure's on. This Colts team, once again, knows the pressure is on, and Phillip Rivers flounders when pressure's on. Folks, they can't even score the ball in the second half of games. I'm over it. I'm over this Colts team. I was never on this Colts team. I was off this Colts team since week 4 when they lost against the Browns. We were off of them. We're off of them here. They're on the road. The Colts are not good on the road. Phillip Rivers is not good on the road. Raiders at home. And I'm getting 3 points with this explosive offense? Come on. This Colts defense is not good. Stop it. Raiders plus 3. I get points. They may not win, but I get 3 at home with the better quarterback and the better overall roster. I'm taking the Raiders. I do not trust Phillip Rivers. That's all. That's the only reason I'm not taking the Colts. I do not trust Phillip Rivers. And that's a huge I don't trust Phillip Rivers, folks. That's huge. Raiders plus 3, we love it. Oh my God, I'll tell you right now. Raiders plus 3, I'm taking it. That's a lock. Raiders plus 3. Love it. Finally, we got something that we love here. Raiders plus 3, folks. There it is. That's how you make money this week. Raiders plus 3. They'll win outright, I'll tell you. I would take them straight up, honestly. Alrighty. Colts should have lost last week as well. The Raiders should have lost last week. The Colts should have lost last week. There's no reason the Raiders should be plus 3 at home. Come on. Let's move on. Let's see if we get something else we love. Here we go. Packers and Lions. We predicted this line at Packers minus 4, and it's Packers minus 7.5. Okay. Detroit last week, they were good. Come back down 10 with 4 minutes left. That's huge. Everybody loves this head coach. That's what it tells me. Everybody hates Matt Patricia, and I understand because that man cannot coach. So if players hate him and don't think he's a good coach, that would not surprise me. And the way that the Lions performed last week, being down and still buying in late in the game, that's kind of huge. That means they buy into this man. Now, the Lions, they're going into their second game with their interim head coach, and that usually doesn't fare well for the Falcons and the Texans, who've also done it this season. season. They kind of lose their second game. So Packers minus 7.5. I think I'm going to stay away from it. I think the Packers win, no doubt. It's Aaron Rodgers, and they're trying to close out a playoff run here. And the Lions here, they've got really nothing to play for besides kind of their future with their interim head coach or whoever the next head coach is. They want to audition and kind of, hey, we still want to be on this roster next year. Please do not cut us now that we have a head coaching switch. So we probably stay away from this game. Packers minus 7.5. They get you on that 7 hook. Yes, I understand it's the Packers, and they can definitely overcome the 7-point hook, but, it's not guaranteed. It's Packers on the road. You know how they are on the road. Don't give it 100% offensively sometimes. I think we stay away from it. Alrighty, Saints-Eagles. We predicted this game at Saints minus 6.5, and it's Saints minus 6.5. Another one we call correctly, right on the money. Absolutely love it. And we're fine again here. We'll swallow the 6.5 with the Saints. I mean, folks, their offense alone is going to win this game, and I think their defense is really going to shut down Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is decent. I didn't love him when he was at Alabama. He looked a little bit better when he went to Oklahoma. I will give him that. But still, I'm not a big Jalen Hurts fan. I wasn't a big fan of his in college. So I don't think I'd like him in the NFL. It's a quicker game. It's a different game. It's a more intense game. If you don't prosper in college, I don't think there's any way you prosper in the NFL. So, I mean, this man got benched in the national championship game in college, folks. I mean, not great for Tua. Okay. And he won the game. So, make of that information of what you will. We like the Saints here. It's Taysom Hill. He's been playing absolutely fantastic. Yes, his legs are good, but that's not what we're talking about, folks. The arm is magnificent. The man could be a starting quarterback. The man needs his name respected like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray and even Deshaun Watson. Taysom Hill is as good as those players, folks, and I don't want to hear any more of it. Saints, Taysom Hill, that's all we need to know. Everybody's good. Saints on the road, I don't think it matters. Eagles here starting a new rookie quarterback, not going to get it done. Saints minus 6.5. I think we swallow the points there, folks. All right, a couple more games here, and then we'll get out of here. Washington and 49ers. We predicted the game at 49ers minus 2, and it's 49ers minus 3.5. Now, this is interesting. This is definitely interesting. They're clearly saying the 49ers are half a point better team than Washington. Now, is that really the case? I don't know. The 49ers last week, I mean, big letdown against the Bills. They could not stop Josh Allen for the lives of them. Josh Allen was looking like Peyton Manning. He was looking like Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. He was looking like Tom Brady in his 20-year stint with the Patriots. He was looking like Patrick Mahomes last year in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter. You could not stop him. So, with all that being said, I think I like Washington plus 3 here. Yes, they're coming off of a highly emotional win, so they may take a step back this week, but it's Ron Rivera at the helm of coaching staffs. I mean, folks, coaching is a huge part of football, folks. It doesn't matter in basketball. I wouldn't say it doesn't matter in basketball, but it's very minuscule in basketball, or in football, coaching is really everything, folks. If you don't have the right coach, you're not going to be good. Do you think it's a coincidence that the Browns get a good head coach, Kevin Stefanski, and they're instantly good? Come on, folks. This team hasn't been good in 20 years. They've been having players. They've been having coaches. They finally got a good coach. Baker Mayfield's a decent quarterback, game manager, I would put him at right now. And, I think the coach definitely elevates him. So coaching matters 100%. Washington has a great coach. The 49ers have a good coach too, don't get me wrong. They just went to the Super Bowl last year, and he's still kind of, with all these injuries, still overcoming those injuries and still being very competitive in these games. So I think I like Washington plus 3.5. I get the hook. I love it. I don't think Nick Mullins goes out and does anything crazy. This Washington defense was pretty good. I mean, they held Big Ben to only, what did they put up, 17 points last week? So on the road still, Washington, 49ers, can't buy them. 49ers are on the road as well. I mean, they have no home field advantage officially. So, I think I like the 3.5 here, honestly. I think I like the 3.5 here. Yeah. Washington plus 3.5. I think I like it. Maybe our 99% guarantee is tomorrow. Alrighty, 3 more games here. Let's go through these a little bit quickly and we'll get out of here. The first one, Falcons-Chargers. We predicted this game at Chargers -1.5, and it's it's Falcons -2.5. Interesting, and I love it. I agree with it. You cannot trust this Chargers team. They're absolutely trash. Now, I cannot trust this Falcons offense on the road. I can barely trust this Falcons offense when it's 100% at home, so I'm not going to trust them on the road, but I also cannot trust Anthony Lynn and whatever the heck he's going to do for the Chargers this week. They just got blown out 45-0. How are they going to respond with Anthony Lynn at the helm? Probably not very good. So I'm going to stay away from this game. I've been killed by Atlanta too much this season. The Chargers, I would not trust them with 20 points, folks. I don't care. They do not close out games, and they lose the close ones. So what are we talking about here? Falcons, possibly money line is the best bet here. Maybe expect Justin Herbert to rebound very well after getting blown out 45-0. This Falcons defense is nowhere near the Patriots defense. I'll tell you all that right off the rip. But yeah, these are two bad teams I cannot get behind. I tried to buy into the Falcons. I was an early adopter of this Falcons offense, and then they just weren't getting it done when they're all on the field together. It's truly wild, folks. So if Julio Jones is out, then I like Atlanta. How crazy is that? If Julio Jones is not playing, I like Atlanta. If he is playing, I stay away from the game. Alrighty, Bills, Steelers, and we predicted this one at Bills -3, and it's Bills -2.5. See what they did here. They're not giving you that 3-point hook. They're saying on a neutral field, the Steelers are better than the Bills, and I 100% agree. This defense is going to eat Josh Allen alive, folks. Josh Allen is a little inflated off of that win against the 49ers last week. Primetime game. You got to show everybody what they wanted. The Bills fans are all chirping on Twitter. We see it, we hear it, we see it, we hear it more. So Steelers, I expect their offense to get back on track. That was just a bad game. A lot of drops. You heard Mike Tomlin. He's not playing with that bullshit, folks. This is not a no bullshit head coach, and that's why a lot of players respect him. So, and we get 2.5 points. I probably buy this one up to 3 just because you don't lose that much value if you buy a half a point. Buy the half a point. Don't get killed on the hook. We'll take the Steelers +3, and I'll tell you right now, that's going to be our moneymaker pick. That's a lock, folks. Steelers getting points, come on. Off of a bad loss, come on. After their undefeated season just got ruined, after Mike Tomlin is calling out everybody, after Josh Allen just had a hyper-inflated passing performance, I think he turns the ball over a couple of times this game, folks. Look for it. Alrighty, and then the last game, the Monday night game. Once again, we're not going to talk too much about it. We'll talk about it on Monday, but we predicted it at Browns -2.5, and it's Browns. Wow. Okay, I give Vegas respect for calling it like this. They say it's Browns -1 or Ravens -1.5, and I still think we take it. I think the Bills and the Browns, folks, I think they take small steps back. I mean, these are not trusted quarterbacks that you're like, oh my goodness, okay, this is what we get every single week. No, we really don't get this every single week. This is why it's kind of a surprise that they did it last week, that Baker Mayfield threw 4 touchdowns in the first half and that Josh Allen played a flawless game. So, we expect them to take steps back. They played very well. They're inflated. Everybody's talking. Baker Mayfield, I mean, this man has the biggest dick right now, folks. I mean, on social media, everybody's playing the gif of him rolling out the carpet and taking photos after a touchdown celebration. Baker Mayfield starting to talk. The Bills Mafia is starting to talk. That puts a lot of pressure on their quarterbacks. They always don't respond very well. We like the Steelers. We like the Ravens. We'll swallow the 2. We'll swallow the 1.5. We'll take the 2.5, and we'll see some quarterbacks flounder this week, I think. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. However you did it, we'll be back tomorrow, noon Eastern, just like every single day, folks, with our official picks. We'll also break down the game today. And don't forget, our moneymaker is, what is it? We're swallowing the 5 points. Rams -5. We'll take it. We'll swallow it. Patriots, they cannot score. So we've got our moneymaker. We'll tell you when we were right about our moneymaker tomorrow. We'll make our picks tomorrow, heading us into Saturday. We're not sure what we're going to do yet, but we'll be here Saturday. I can tell you that. Alrighty, so that is going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. It's Takes by Fans. Follow me on Twitter. Be a part of the conversation at Takes by Fans. Go to YouTube at Takes by Fans. It's Takes by Fans everywhere, folks. Alright, now we're out.